You are born in the dark, not the kind of dark that hides behind eyelids or waits at the edge of sleep. This is the ancient dark, the one that never left since the beginning of oceans. Down here, sunlight dies miles above you. The water is cold, still, and heavy with silence. You drift from your mother's body, one of 6 fragile forms, already on your own before you even understand the meaning of alone. There is no nest, no guidance, only the pulse of the deep. You open your jaw, the jaw that gave your kind its name. Frilled edges ripple like tattered lace, framing a mouth older than most species on Earth. 300 needle-like teeth line your gums, curved backward to trap what little life wanders near. Evolution never bothered to modernize you. You are the ghost of a design that worked once, and so it remained, unchanged for 80 million years. Your body coils through the abyss like a snake. You are not built to sprint or fight. You are built to wait. Patience is your inheritance. The ocean presses around you, vast and unknowable, and you can feel the vibrations of distant lives, the flicker of a lanternfish, the echo of a squid's pulse. Everything down here is both predator and prey, both miracle and mistake. For a moment you hover, suspended between instinct and discovery. You taste the metallic tang of salt and time. Your gills flare softly, 6 folds of crimson against the dim blue void. Every heartbeat is a whisper in eternity. You don't know fear yet, only hunger, a simple, honest hunger that will one day teach you the truth about this world. A faint shimmer passes above, the slow descent of something dying. You follow, drawn by scent and movement, but the abyss shifts. Something larger moves in the black. You feel the water change temperature, the faint thrum of power and motion. You realize something profound for the first time. Down here, existence is not about living, it's about lasting. You swim in a place where the sun has no name. The water feels endless, but it is not empty. Life drifts here like dust in a forgotten cathedral, fragile, fleeting, unaware of you until it's too late. Your body moves with ancient grace, not the sharp cuts of a modern shark, but a slow, serpentine rhythm that echoes through eons. You don't chase your prey. You coil. You wait. And when something small and shimmering wanders too close, you strike like memory itself, sudden, precise, inevitable. Your teeth are your inheritance. 300 barbed hooks angle backwards so that even if a creature struggles, it only cuts itself deeper into you. You do not tear. You do not chew. You swallow whole. That is how it's always been. Efficiency born from the dark. But even this meal, a small squid, still twitching, feels hollow. Hunger is not something you satisfy here. It's a constant background hum, like the deep's heartbeat. The deep sea is not merciful. Pressure crushes, cold numbs, and silence makes you hear things that are not there. Sometimes, you think you sense others, shadows of your kind, but you rarely meet them. You are solitary, because down here, solitude is survival. The more you reveal, the more you risk becoming a story in another creature's stomach. There are giants above, shapes that hum, vibrate, and vanish into the unknown ceiling of water. You can feel their presence in the pressure waves, unnatural rhythms of machinery that your ancestors never knew. Sometimes, the ocean brings down the remains of their world, torn plastic, glistening oil, fragments of what they call progress. You don't understand it, but your body learns to avoid it. Even in instinct, there's wisdom. You glide past the corpse of a lanternfish, its eyes still glowing faintly, as if confused by death. Around it, small crustaceans gather like mourners, feeding quietly. The ocean recycles everything. Flesh becomes silt. Silt becomes food. Food becomes life. Even the dead are useful. You hope, when your time comes, that you will be too. For now, you keep moving, slowly, silently, patiently, because down here, survival doesn't mean living longer. It just means not dying yet. Years blur like currents. You grow, but the deep never changes. It's still cold, still endless, still full of things that want to eat you or avoid you. Your body stretches beyond 6 feet now, eel-like, flexible, armored in the quiet resilience of time. You move less like a shark and more like an echo. You are prehistoric patience given form, a ghost from the Cretaceous that refuses to fade. You find your hunting rhythm in the twilight zone, where the light is not quite gone but never truly there. You learn to rise just enough to ambush, then sink back before predators notice. Your movements are measured, economical. Up there, in the brighter layers, newer species thrive. faster, sleeker, engineered by evolution's latest experiments. But you are what came before, the living fossil, the test that never ended. Sometimes, you encounter others of your kind, rare moments in the dark when two remnants of history cross paths. There's no tenderness, no curiosity, only the raw urgency of reproduction. You twist around one another, a slow, mechanical dance dictated by instinct older than thought. Mating in the abyss isn't romance. It's an exchange between survivors, brief, cold, necessary. The act leaves you drained, both of energy and illusion. Life goes on because it has to, not because it wants to. You notice the world changing around you in ways you cannot name. The currents shift, the temperatures rise in places they never should. The prey you once knew begins to vanish, replaced by creatures that taste wrong, their flesh thin and chemical. You feel it inside you, the faint ache of contamination, the slow intrusion of a world that doesn't belong here. In these quiet hours, you sense something familiar in your struggle, a reflection of another species above, the ones who built machines and called themselves evolved. They too are restless, consuming, surviving without knowing why. You realize survival isn't just biological, it's an addiction, a curse shared across all forms of life. You keep moving through the black water, your gills flaring in rhythm with the ancient pulse of the ocean. You've adapted to everything, predators, hunger, the crushing weight of the abyss, yet something still feels wrong. Something deep inside you whispers a truth too heavy for words. You were born into a world that has already forgotten you. One night, though, night means nothing down here. You rise higher than usual. The pressure eases, the water warms, and for a fleeting moment, you feel weightless, almost free. Then you see it, a shimmer above, a curtain of silver motes drifting like plankton. But it's not life, it's something else. Plastic fragments swirling in false light. You move closer, drawn by instinct, and they cling to you like parasites. Thin ribbons wrap around your gills. You thrash, but the water only tightens their grip. The more you struggle, the less you breathe. This is how your kind dies now, not by fong or famine, but by the residue of someone else's existence. Humans never meant to meet you, but they did. You are the collateral damage of their convenience. Their oil leaks into your veins. Their garbage decorates your kingdom. Their sound waves rattle your skull, drowning out the quiet rhythm that once guided your hunts. The abyss that sheltered you for millions of years is no longer safe. You retreat downward, where the temperature drops and the silence thickens again. But even here, you can taste them. Microplastics in the sediment, invisible toxins coating your prey. You can feel the slow suffocation of an ecosystem that once seemed eternal. The old rules, patience, hunger, endurance, no longer guarantee survival. You are living proof that evolution can't keep up with destruction. In your exhaustion, you drift near a seamount where you once hunted. The rocks are bare now, stripped clean of life. A metallic taste fills the water, sharp and sterile. You realize the ocean doesn't hum anymore. It groans. Every current carries the echo of imbalance. You look for prey and find only silence. You remember your mother, though you never saw her, and wonder if she too felt this slow unraveling before the end. You wonder if your offspring will be born into water thick with ghosts. There is a cruel irony in it all. You survived extinction after extinction, adapted through ice and fire, only to be undone by a species that fears its own reflection. You open your jaws one last time, the frills trembling like torn banners in the current. You don't rage, you don't weep, you just exist, quietly, as the dark swallows you again. Because in this new ocean, the ancient have no place left to hide. You drift in the deep, slower now. The water presses against your skin like the weight of memory itself. Everything around you moves in cycles, decay becoming birth, silence becoming sound, life becoming nothing, and then something again. You've always been part of that rhythm. You never questioned it, but now the rhythm feels wrong. The pulse is fading. You are a relic that breathes, a fossil that still feels hunger, pain, and fleeting wonder. You are living evidence that survival does not always mean progress. The world above celebrates its evolution, but you are what they forgot. That survival once meant balance, not conquest. You exist without pride, without greed, without ambition. You take only what you must, and somehow, that makes you obsolete. Your eyes, ancient and unblinking, watch the endless dark. You think of the humans, how they, too, are drifting in a world they are unraveling. You do not hate them. The ocean doesn't know hate. It only absorbs. It takes everything, their waste, their noise, their heat, and holds it quietly, like a secret it will one day release back upon them. You know, in the way only nature knows, that no creature escapes the cost of its own survival. The current carries you past a stretch of seabed littered with what used to live, shells cracked open, bones half buried in silt. You move through them gently, as if gliding through the ruins of time. The silence feels holy, a cathedral of extinction, and in that stillness, you realize something small but eternal. The ocean doesn't mourn its dead, it remembers them. Every cell of water, every grain of salt, holds the imprint of what was. You, too, will become part of that memory. Another layer in the sediment, another whisper in the deep. The abyss will reclaim you, not as punishment, but as forgiveness. Because everything that lives here eventually returns to the same stillness from which it came. You exhale once more. The frills along your throat flutter like dying flames. The pressure deepens. The world narrows into silence. In the end, there is no tragedy, no triumph, only the truth. That to live forever is to drown slowly in time.